Most people think fear is the enemy. It feels uncomfortable. It slows you down when you are trying to move towards something important. You take a few steps forward, then freeze. You question yourself. You step back, then you try again. The stop and start cycle drains your confidence and makes progress feel harder than it should. There is a part many people overlook. Fear is not only a barrier. It can be fuel, strong fuel. Negative emotion pushes harder than positive emotion. You can feel a limited amount of happiness, but there is no limit to how much pain you can feel. The brain pays more attention to threats than comfort. That is why fear grabs your focus. Used the right way, it gives you an advantage you do not get from comfort or ease. Most decisions people make are based on the benefits of taking action. They compare outcomes and try to choose the safest option. That is only half the picture. If you are judging a choice, you also have to measure the cost of avoiding it. Standing still looks harmless at first. It is not. Every avoided action has a price. Sometimes that price is heavier than the risk you are trying to escape. This is why thinking about your future matters. Not in a dramatic sense. In a simple, direct way. You look at where your actions lead. You also look at where your lack of action leads. When you understand that pain exists on every path, you stop searching for the path with none. It does not exist. Your control comes from choosing the difficulty that moves your life forward instead of the difficulty that drags it downward. People picture fear as a wall in front of them, something that blocks the direction they want to go. The real shift happens when you use fear as pressure from behind. You do this by getting honest about the consequences of staying the same. When you see the long-term direction of your habits and choices, fear moves from being a threat to being a push. Pressure helps you move. It gives you momentum when motivation is low and discipline feels heavy. In work I have done with people who want to plan their future, there is a simple exercise. You think about the parts of your life you do not manage well. The habits you know are harmful. The decisions you keep repeating even when you know they work against you. The resentment, the laziness, the lack of discipline, the aimless behavior. Then you imagine these habits gaining complete control over your life for the next 3 to 5 years. Where do you end up? What does that version of you look like? What do you lose? What breaks? What opportunities disappear because you refuse to change? It is uncomfortable to look at this directly, but that discomfort is useful. It gives fear a job. The next time you face a temptation or a moment where your old habits try to take over, the image you created steps forward. It reminds you what is at stake. Weak motivation sounds like, I should stop eating like this. Strong motivation sounds like, if I keep going, I will damage my health and pay for it later. Fear highlights the consequences that comfort tries to hide. That is the advantage. It shows you the future you do not want. Once that future becomes clear, you become more willing to choose the harder path that leads to the future you do want. There is no life without difficulty. You experience difficulty when you avoid responsibility, and you experience difficulty when you pursue something meaningful. One direction leads somewhere. The other direction leads nowhere. Fear is not the problem. Misplaced fear is. When you put fear on the right side of your decisions, it becomes a force that pushes instead of a force that blocks. For many people, that shift is enough to help them move with more purpose than they have ever felt.